This year, India's Republic Day won't have a chief guest. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of UK, was set to attend the ceremony this year, but he had to cancel his plans due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So this would be the first time since 1966 that there will be no chief guest for India's Republic Day. However, in recent years, there have been several important visits. High profile visits include Barack Obama, Jair Bolsonaro, Shinzo Abe, Francois Hollande, and Vladimir Putin. So, why does India invite foreign dignitaries? What is the process of selecting the chief guest? And what impact does this have on Indian foreign policy? In this video, we shall explore these questions and much more. But before we get into that, let's look into some history. India became a republic in Jan 26, 1950, when the Colonial Government of India Act of 1935 was replaced by the Constitution of India as the governing document. Jan 26 was chosen because on the same day in 1930, the Indian National Congress declared complete self-rule or Purna Swaraj from the Brits as the goal of the freedom movement. Now, since India had experienced a colonial past, it strongly identified with countries with a similar experience. In fact, resistance to colonialism and imperialism is one of the chief pillars of Indian foreign policy. This policy was reflected when Indonesia's President Sukarno was invited as chief guest to attend India's first Republic Day in 1950, not long before Indonesia had proclaimed independence from the Dutch in 1945. The process of selecting a chief guest is a fairly elaborate one and is largely reflective of India's diplomatic goals. Let's look at how the process works. If we look closely at the chief guests invited over the years, a clear pattern emerges. It is one that is intimately tied to India's foreign policy. In 1958, Yi Jianying, one of the founding marshals of the People's Liberation Army of China, was the chief guest. Why? Because the 1950s was a decade which saw friendly relations between India and China. For example, diplomatic ties between both countries were established in 1950. In 1954, the Panchsheel Agreement for Peaceful Coexistence was signed by both sides. In fact, the slogan Hindi Chini Bye Bye or Indians and Chinese are brothers was very popular. In 1968, Joseph Tito, the president of erstwhile Yugoslavia, was the chief guest. Then Indian PM Nehru, Tito, and Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser were crucial in the formation of the Non-Aligned Movement, or NAM. In 1966 and 67, Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi visited Yugoslavia, and Joseph Tito reciprocated by visiting India the following year. Most chief guest visits are tied to a crucial aspect of foreign policy. In 1988, Sri Lanka's President J.R. Jayawardena was chief guest. The visit followed the signing of the Indo-Sri Lanka Peace Accord in 1987. Nelson Mandela attended the Republic Day in 1995. Mandela was invited because of his success against apartheid in 1994. The move reflected India's stance against colonialism and racism. Growing ties with Japan, US, and UAE were seen in visits from their respective heads of state. In 2018, India went a step further and invited 10 guests from the Association of Southeast Asian Nation States, or ASEAN. This was a reflection of India's growing ties with the Southeast Asian regional bloc. Inviting a dignitary to attend India's Republic Day is the highest honor that India accords to a guest. The guest is given a guard of honor and is flanked by the president's bodyguard. These are just two of the many honors that are bestowed on the chief guest. So, why is being invited as chief guest for India's Republic Day such a big deal? On Republic Day, parades are held all over India, but the grandest of them all is the Delhi parade, which takes place at Rajpath. Actually, the parade starts from the Rashtrapati Bhavan and continues along the Rajpath Road, passing through the India Gate, and it comes to an end at the Red Fort. The President and Prime Minister of India, as well as the chief guest, watches the parade from a specially guarded podium at the Rajpath. Now, why is the Rajpath significant? Have a close look at this image. The red line that runs from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is the residence of the President of India. So, the red line that runs from the Rashtrapati Bhavan to the India Gate is the Rajpath Road. The parade passes through this road. You can also see the Prime Minister's office, the Parliament of India, the National War Museum, the Supreme Court of India, and the High Court of Delhi. In short, the Rajpath runs through the veins of power in Delhi. The chief guest is also a spectator to the parade that passes through the Rajpath. The diversity of India is in full display during the parade. Various branches of the armed forces also take part. Recently, foreign armed forces have also taken part in the parade. In 2016, when the French President Francois Hollande was chief guest, a French contingent marched in the parade. In 2017, it was the UAE's Presidential Guard that marched. This year, a contingent from Bangladesh's armed forces will take part in the parade. In short, the chief guest is getting to witness and take part in an amalgamation of soft and hard power which is unique to India. India's Republic Day is indeed a unique experience in diplomacy.